All right. So after a unexpected brief hiatus, we're back!
Yay!
Yeah, March kind of got away from us with the move to Peacock. We haven't really looked into it to see what's on there. And then April, we were going to do it. It got a little crazy, and then we both got our vaccine shots, and it knocked me out for a while. That's why we didn't do it last week.
Yeah, and, well, right now I'm just tired because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, and it's also 1 o'clock in the morning.
Because I work weekends.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's changing soon. But, yeah, so it was WrestleMania 28?
WrestleMania 28! The once-in-a-lifetime battle between The Rock and John Cena.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've had this Blu-ray for, I guess, almost 10 years now, and this is the first time I've watched it.
Yeah, that's about right.
You know, most people collect books, don't read. I collect movies and TV shows and don't watch. But I picked this up kind of on a whim, but this was also when I was, like, into wrestling the previous time before this time.
Yeah,
so,
you were into it and you fell out of it.
Yeah, and then fell back and you got back into it. And, like, I remember the build to this.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember, like, The Rock came back. I think I showed you the clip.
I think so, yeah.
And, like, the crowd wouldn't let him speak for at least a solid minute because they were just cheering him. So, yeah, like, I remember that. And,
is that what he told Michael Cole if he answers that email, he's going to smack the taste out of his mouth?
Yes, it was that.
Because that was a thing for a while.
The anonymous...
Okay, so, not related to this, but this is a hilarious story to me. Like, I know, at this point in wrestling history, in my personal history, I know jack all about wrestling. I know the big names, I know it was huge in the 90s, and he's been watching clips about the whole, I have an email from the general manager thing. So, like, a year or two later, I ask, hey, did we ever find out who the general manager was? And he just shouts, Hornswoggle! And at that point in my life, I had never heard that word before. So I was like, what does that mean? What?
Fucking Hornswoggle!
I now know that was the leprechaun who wrestled.
Who was at this WrestleMania?
And who was like the flag bearer. But yeah, so that is the kind of noob you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to this show.
So, yeah, so we are technically late on this because, you know, WrestleMania was, a month ago now.
Well, like, it was halfway into the month,
but
it's May 2nd now.
Yeah, I mean, we started this on May 1st.
Yeah, we started watching on May 1st.
Boy, we have gotten spoiled from watching old pay-per-views and what a good length they were.
Yeah.
This is definitely a modern W pay-per-view and a modern WrestleMania where it was 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Just shy of 4.
Anyway.
It was mostly good, though.
Yeah, it was good. It's the reason this one is talked about a lot, despite making fun of the tagline. But I had a point I was going to make, and then we got sidetracked.
Sorry.
But hold on, it'll come back to me. It's very late. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember the build.
Yes. Well, it's also, we're technically not late, since they are calling it WrestleMania Backlash. And that's how we're getting around time to WrestleMania in May when Backlash is around the corner.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, yes. Like I said, this is about when I started watching. Although I didn't watch this WrestleMania because I didn't have the things yet, but this is... I also remember watching, if you remember Spoonie and his old show, Wrestle. That's where... That was helping me get into it, and we talked about this.
Yeah,
he and his brother talked about this WrestleMania.
I remember he did that.
Yeah, and this was the one that has the infamous Sheamus Daniel Bryan match. That's 18 seconds for the world title.
Yeah.
This is when they still had the two.
Like, I get, like, management didn't like Daniel Bryan. I get that. But I still don't know why they thought this was a good idea, because that is just bad storytelling. You don't want to put one of your big titles in such a... Well, then again, they did it later with Kofi, so... And even quicker.
Yeah. Well, no, this is good storytelling. See, this was them laying the foundations. They thought ahead. This is where the Yes Movement started, because, you know, Daniel Bryan has been saying that as a heel, but this is where the crowd got behind him. Without this loss, he wouldn't be the underdog. See, they totally planned this.
Yeah, they totally planned this.
Uh-huh. I love how they have to rewrite history on that, and not like, we just really hate him and wanted to screw him over and thought everyone would laugh. No!
Nope.
That didn't go well for
you. Yeah, you said it when we were watching it, it's like we've heard about this match being so short. It was another thing to see it. It was like you literally blink and it's over.
Yeah. Also another short title match, not the big one, but I remember Extreme Rules, Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura. We had our friend Nick over.
Oh yeah.
And Shinsuke bollocksed Jeff before. It was like the U.S. title. Or?
I think it was when
Shinsuke
was the U.S. champion.
So Shinsuke won that in like 5 seconds. All I remember was Nick. I took a drink and missed it. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. But yeah, it was that thing. Just one move, done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but at least that was the first bit, and they just got it out of the way.
They kept talking about it.
Yeah, they kept just like, "Wow, how amazing was that?" I was like, "Not really."
Not. I like Sheamus, but
Sheamus is great now. I don't know anything about him in this time, but
I've always liked
Sheamus.
So, but the Great White.
Yeah.
Cause that's even in the back of the fucking thing there. Anyway, let's see. This kind of goes all over the place too. Matches. The Intercontinental Championship match between Cody Rhodes and The Big Show,
which I thought was hilarious at the time, or hilarious in hindsight, because this little thing called AEW. You probably never heard of it.
Yeah, that they're both in right now.
Yeah. Not much to say about it. As one, I like that Cody, despite whatever happened, he was Intercontinental Champion for a very long time. I feel like they should bring that back.
Yes.
And while Big Show wasn't like moving around fast or anything, Cody sold his ass off. I was watching this. Okay, Big Show was a fucking monster.
Yeah,
he's going to murder this man.
Yeah, like there's a reason Cody was able to start his own wrestling company. He's really good, and they don't know what they have till it's gone.
Yeah,
they really don't.
Yeah, that's all I can really think to say on that one.
I'm trying to because they have all the big matches. I want to try to space those out, talking about things, but like Randy Orton versus Kane. That was a thing that happened.
Yeah, this is one thing where they didn't have hype packages.
Yeah. And
I was actually just thinking during this most recent WrestleMania, I was like, I usually like hype packages, but I just felt like they were excessively played. I was just getting really tired of them. But I understand their purpose. Like, my lady friend was watching the second night with us, and she doesn't watch regularly, so she needed those. She probably thought they were helpful. I was tired of them. This time, there were no hype packages, so we have Kane versus Randy Orton, and I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for.
Yeah,
all I know is Kane has a cool-looking Jason mask.
Yeah, he has like a welder's mask over his old mask. Cause, again, I remember this is where he came back. Yeah. I think this was before Team Hell No. I'm trying to remember. It was him and Daniel Bryan, so they did that. But I vaguely remember this build. But I think we're supposed to root for Randy, which is always weird.
Yeah.
He's just,
even when he's a face, he kind of comes off as a heel.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good match. But
it was fine.
Without context, I can't remember. And, hype packages help. I watched the NXT, mostly just watched the takeovers. The hype packages helped me. Yeah. So, Kelly and Marina Menounos versus Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres, I guess. I didn't know them. Beth Phoenix at the time was the Divas champion. I still fucking hate that belt. God, I hate that belt. It's so ugly. And it's just so oh, look, it's a butterfly that's purple. They're girls. Get it? Yeah.
I'm neutral on the belt. All I really know, out of the four that two, but I really only, as a wrestler, I only really know Beth Phoenix because I've seen her in a few other things, and she's really freaking good, and this just shows again why she's really freaking good. The Maria Menounos thing is kind of interesting to me because before this, I only really knew her as one of those movie pre-show things. Newbie. That was it. So, and then to me, she just randomly started showing up in WWE things, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? It's like... And so when this match started, it took a second for that name to register. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. So good on her getting the pin. I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was just kind of weird.
It was better than what I thought it was going to happen, because based on where the women's division was, and they're still calling them divas. Yeah. So, okay, they gave them more of a chance, and it was a good match. But, it's weird, the Divas title was there, but not on the line at WrestleMania. Yeah. It had to be a tag team.
And also, again, that was the only women's match. Yeah. So all you fuckboy incels, how dare they have one women's only pay-per-view. Fuck off.
Yeah. All right.
Send me your hate. I feed on it.
Team Teddy versus Team Johnny for control of Raw and SmackDown. A lot of people in this one.
Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of names I recognized. Was it Otunga?
David Otunga.
David Otunga. Like, I have mentioned in these videos, like, holy crap, that person doesn't look human or looks like Paul. I think David Otunga has muscles that don't exist on other people. What the fuck?
He's also went to law school. He was a commentator for a while.
Yeah.
And, like, he was apparently not that good at it. And
Yeah.
he's married to someone in Hollywood. They talked about that for a while. He was one of the members of the Nexus. Like, he and Heath Slater, who shows up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, let's see here. Team Teddy was Booker T, Great Khali, R-Truth, Santino Marella, Kofi Kingston, and Zack Ryder, versus Team Johnny is Jack Swagger, Baby Drew McIntyre,
Oh, yeah, he
David
looks
Otunga,
so
Mark
young.
Henry, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz. And it's amazing to see how many of those guys are still around now.
Yeah.
Like, this is almost 10 years later.
Yeah. All I can really say about this one is, like, they didn't, again, no hype packages didn't really explain the story very well. There was a couple segments in between matches all the time, but I was just confused. But I will say the match itself was just beautiful chaos.
Yes.
There was a lot going on, and it was just fun. It was just pure fun.
I hate that Zach had to take the pin.
Yeah.
And even then he was like, yeah, they didn't really care much for him. But here's a trivia question, or trivia for you. Johnny Laurinaitis there?
Yeah.
The guy with the gravelly voice?
Yeah, God, he could barely talk.
Yeah, he was Johnny Ace. You remember, I think it was the Halloween Havoc we watched, where they had the bad dudes with attitudes, the surfer gimmicks?
Oh, is he one of them?
Yeah, he was one of them. He was one of the skateboarders.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I have no idea what the fuck happened to his voice. Because I swear I've seen promos. I think they did a promo on that, and he had to talk normally. So I don't know if he smoked a lot or had cancer, but yeah, his voice is just... like, he didn't Vince.
Yeah.
He just sit there and have a talk like this.
Vince is like, okay, his voice sounds alien and scary, but it's at a normal volume and can go loud. John Laurinaitis was just really soft and it's just like, ugh.
Let's talk about the end of an era Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee.
Okay, so I do have a bit of a tiny bit of backstory going into this one. My lady friend showed me a video by a guy on YouTube called Super Eye Patch Wolf. I've only seen 4 of his videos, but they all been really good, and 3 of those were on wrestling. And he talked. This particular one was on The Undertaker, just why he loved Super Eye Patch Wolf loved The Undertaker so much, and he talked about the streak. And maybe about 5 minutes of this 20-30 minute video was about this Triple H match, and I can totally see why. It was great.
I mean, like, Cultaholic and What Culture have talked it up a lot, and I'm like, okay, it does lift you up to the hype.
It really does.
Like, knowing The Undertaker wins, I still, there are moments where I thought he was going to lose, because, like, they tell a story beautifully. Sean looks like he's going to cry at some point.
Several times.
He's, like, trying to get both of them to stop before they kill themselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another referee comes in, he gets fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, this is why this is one of the best Undertaker matches. One of the best Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah, it was great.
This was the end of an era, as long as we don't talk about Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Well, Australia, but...
Yeah, but either way, let it be this. Like, and I'm trying to remember, like, they talked about how Undertaker fought Triple H the year before.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember if this was the build where, like, I think it was like Undertaker talking, like doing a promo, and then Triple H comes in. And it's around WrestleMania season, because I remember this. Like, Triple H comes in to Undertaker. They just stare at each other. They don't say anything. He just looks up at the sign.
Yeah.
Look back at him. Then Undertaker looks at the sign, looks back at him, and then they just kind of nod. And that's it. I'm like, fuck yeah!
Nice.
That's all I need!
Yeah.
So, and it's one of the times, like, so I also noticed, like, the cell itself, this is before the pay-per-view, it was a pay-per-view, so they had, they're talking about, oh, it's, only so many.
Yeah.
But, like, it started to have the handholds in the thing. It's like, so you're doing crazy things. Also, I think it's funny now. So like I said, this was almost a decade ago, and my god, it does not feel that much. But, well, this is only, like, the 3rd time WrestleMania's been held in an outdoor venue.
I thought it always was.
No. They started doing this, and I'm just like, yeah, you'll find that funny later. Alright, what else? WWE Championship match between CM Punk and Chris Jericho, which is one of the ones I was looking forward to.
This one I was excited based solely on the reputation of the two wrestlers. I had seen a handful of Jericho matches, partially for this show, and CM Punk, I actually just by accident caught the infamous pipe bomb, and I sat there wondering, like, is this off the script?
Yeah. Again, like that's where the moment I got right back into it was because of that pipe bomb. I'm like, how much is this is real?
Yeah.
It feels convenient when they cut him off, but Jesus Christ, he is like, this is why the people still chant his name to this day, because they're like, that's our problem.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the problem. That's still the problem.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And this one had a hype package,
Yeah.
so I knew the story. And yeah, not only was this a great match in general, but it was a storytelling. Jericho is just a fucking bastard here.
Yeah.
So I was very glad to see CM Punk beat the shit out of him.
How's your dad?
Yeah.
Jesus. And then, well, like, before it happened, to celebrate his victory, because Team Johnny won, so Johnny Laurinaitis got to control both Raw and SmackDown. He sees Punk and says, you look a little, probably shouldn't make fun of him, he might have cancer, I don't know. But like, you look a little mad, so I had a stipulation that if you get disqualified, you'll lose the WWE title.
Yeah, no champion's advantage.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They legitimately hate each other.
Oh.
Like, CM Punk really hates Johnny Laurinaitis. And partially the fact, I believe Johnny Ace was the one who sent him his termination notice on his fucking honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
So, like there's a lot of, you can watch a lot of CM Punk thing. I just watched one a couple weeks ago where he's, like, flat out calling out Johnny Laurinaitis. They legit hate each other. So that look when Punk gets in his face, I don't think he was acting. I think he really wanted to hurt him. So, but yeah, like, no, it was just, these two... Yeah. They are the best in the world.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was just sort of like, it had big flashy moves, it had technical stuff, like Jericho going into the corner of, they told a great story.
Like so many like times where like they had each other, like a thing where they would one would roll on the shoulders, that was almost a pin, then it would just roll back.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god. It's like, and again, I was like, I don't think...
I saw him out of the corner of his eyes, like, going...
Yeah, like, I don't think Punk lost. Okay, he didn't. Like, Jesus, though. Like, it was a good match. And that brings us to the once-in-a-lifetime Rock versus Cena, which, yeah, like, we make fun of that now, because we know in hindsight this wasn't once in a lifetime, and they did it again the next year.
They were apparently planning for 3.
And they were planning for 3, so... But, like, at the time, it was a big deal. Because, again, The Rock came back. They wouldn't let him talk. He cut a promo on Cena. He had Fruity Pebbles because he called out Cena for looking like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. And then Cena leaned into that because he's cut a promo while eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
Nice.
So, like, there's just I wish they had a better hype package. They had some stuff. But, like, just the promos between the two were amazing.
Yeah.
And I got into it.
Yeah, both Rock and Cena kick ass on the mic. So, yeah that would have been nice. I want to... Yeah, sorry, I'm remembering. Probably almost 1:30.
Yeah.
But, I feel kind of bad for this match because I can't think of anything wrong with it, but it had 2 very tough acts to follow.
Yeah!
But it was a lot of fun. There were some really great moves. The one thing that really stood out to me is, I don't know if this is in the middle of the Super Cena era or whatever, but they put it out right out of the gate that The Rock is a match for Cena. Like, in the first few minutes of this match, Rock is just having his way with Cena. Well, so, and that was really cool.
I admit, like, I had a hard time staying awake, but it's only because it's so late, and again, it's the problem with the long WrestleMania, because by the time you get to the main event, you're really tired, because we watched some really great stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, another part of this, the build-up for the feud, and while they were really selling Cena, was like, because at this point, Rock was Hollywood. Yeah. And he had the beard. I think he might have been filming Judge or Retaliation during the middle of this, because it came out in 2013.
Oh, gosh, is that movie that long ago?
Yeah, right? But, like, part of it was that, how dare Rock come back? Yeah. John Cena is a full-time guy. You'll never see him leave WWE for Hollywood the way Rocky did. Rocky was sold out.
I was actually thinking about that during the match. It's kind of funny how, The Rock... Yeah. And not only did the whole thing where they both... got really popular, went on to do movies, and are now more movie stars than they are wrestlers.
The two most, like, famous action stars right now are those two.
They're both genuinely well-liked.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock was recently voted, like, most likable person in the world or something like that, and John Cena, like, is constantly doing charity stuff. So it's just wild to me. Not only like that one similarity, wrestlers went on to be action stars, but they're both big action stars. Of both, and they both ooze charisma. Yeah. They didn't ooze. If they were D&D characters, their max stat wouldn't be their strength or dexterity. It would be their charisma.
And now they're both going to be in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Fast and the Furious franchise, I was actually like really thrown off by the goatee. Because it's one of those things, like, part of character identity. Like, we went to see Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Fucking love that movie.
Yes!
It was ridiculous.
It's so goddamn ridiculous and so great.
But it threw me off because I had seen a Fast and the Furious movie with Hobbs in it, and he had that beard, and all the commercials I had seen and trailers for those franchise always had Hobbs with the beard. So when we went to see Hobbs and Shaw, it's like, I had trouble processing The Rock was Hobbs, even though it clearly is.
Yeah.
So, not only did that throw me off during that movie, but it threw me off watching this match. It's like, The Rock's not supposed to have a beard, man. Yeah. This is weird.
Also, I just noticed this. Looking at the cover, the poster, it's about the end of an era. Like, 4 out of 5 of these guys were from the Attitude Era. The only non-Attitude Era is John Cena. Which ruthless aggression! But it's also funny to me, like, the setup for the Rock-Cena match. Is they kind of repeated that later with Roman Reigns and John Cena. John Cena came back and Roman was the guy.
As hot as Roman is right now, maybe he'll be the next guy to move on to Hollywood.
So that's what I have to spin off that, and we're probably going to have to end soon because we do tend to run long on these and it's late. But I have a theory about that. I think I know why Vince isn't building more stars. Is because he keeps losing them to Hollywood. He wants to be legitimate in Hollywood, but the problem is, once you're legitimate in Hollywood, your actors go off to do other things.
Yeah.
He lost The Rock.
That
he
makes
lost
a lot
Cena.
of sense, actually.
He might lose Roman. Roman's really good at the acting. If he got a little more coaching, he could be really fucking good. And he has an in with his cousin The Rock, and he was in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
And then, like, we got The Miz, obviously.
Yeah.
He should be Johnny Cage.
Please make The Miz Johnny Cage.
But he's the B movie. He's the perfect like A-lister to be there, but not move on beyond that.
Yeah, we're never going to see The Miz in like a huge $1 million blockbuster.
But like so,
I do want to check out the latest Marine movie because I hear that's like legitimately good.
Yeah. So but that's my theory of why Vince doesn't build stars because he wants to keep them all for himself.
It makes too much sense. So you're probably right.
So, that was our review of WrestleMania 28. It was, I'm glad I have it and finally watched it, and there's still more stuff we could watch.
Maybe another time, definitely.
There's the War of Words between CM Punk and Chris Jericho, so that might be the backstory. Might have to look that one up.
Right.
And, so, we'll be back
whenever.
Sometime soon.
I haven't done Booker Z's because I haven't been able to think of anything, and I know I still got to record The Punishment.
Yeah.
Probably do that on my weekend.
Yeah. And Backlash is coming up sooner than we think it's going to.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to creep up on us.
Still not processing that it's May yet.
Right. So, see you guys.
Good night.